What's up, my fellow listeners? Welcome back to a Chosen Generation podcast, a Jesus loving podcast. I'm your host, Kimora, and I'm just so excited for this brand new episode today. And I've been working on this episode like all week. I was just so ready for it. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite episodes of the podcast and the controversial topic series. This is episode 3 of the controversial. And, yeah, so before we get into it, I'd like to let you guys know I just got done eating a kind bar, and now I'm drinking some breakfast blend coffee, which smells pretty good and tastes pretty good. You know, let me get a little sip on it with it, and let's get started. Alright, let's before we get started with this, kind of have an announcement. I could possibly be releasing another book this year. Yes. But in case you haven't already, go buy my book, Blissfully Blessed. Link will be in the show notes below. Of course, it's just amazing how I wrote my first book. I never thought I write my first book and starting a podcast. But thank you guys, whoever brought Blissfully Blessed. Whoever bought Blissfully Blessed, thank you. And another thing, I'm gonna leave it in the poll below. I want to start this new thing, in a podcast every now and then, like every first Saturday or something like that. I'm thinking about stepping up and doing communion with you guys, and yeah, maybe we can just fellowship with each other before or after the podcast. So if you guys interested in having a communion section like once or twice a month or something, please vote below in the poll, and we'll take it from there. And yeah, I really hope I could do it, and you guys can join in. All you gotta do is just vote down below if you want a communion section to possibly happen in this podcast. So yeah, okay, enough of the talking. Let's get into the podcast episode. Social media and faith. I kind of have a little story behind this. I first really got consumed in social media. I mean, I started a YouTube channel back in 2016. God, it's not on YouTube anymore, but I got a new YouTube channel that I'm posting my podcast episodes on, so you prefer listening on YouTube. And yeah, you never know, video podcasts are coming soon, Yeah, I just gotta get the right equipment. But anyway, back to the story. I really got exposed to social media when I was like 12 years old, back in 2016 to 2017. I started YouTube first. I was making some cringy, crappy stuff down my videos, and I'm surprised people liked them. And of course, they're not on the internet anymore, thank God. But back then, if I looked at those videos now, I was like, what the heck I was doing. But if I haven't quit making those type of videos, I would have been celebrating my 10th year YouTube anniversary this year, Next year will be my 10th year. Yeah, but it is like for a short time now. And like a social media girly when I was like 12, 13, from like since 2016. I mean, I started my first Instagram account in 2017 when I was 12 in January 2017. Lord, I had to delete most of those pictures off of there. They were just so cringy, and I can't go back looking at it, And it's now private, so yeah, I was claiming it to be a personal account, but it may be deleted later. But I gotta get some stuff off of there first, before I delete it. I don't know yet, guys, And so basically, in like I decided to quit social media during pandemic. I mean, of course, I had fan accounts and stuff way before the pandemic. And you know how the pandemic hit, everything changed, like society changed. Well, I used that my time. Of course, I posted a lot, but I was like, does will social media impact my future, or I just all of a sudden stopped posting on all my fan pages and my personal pages. I just, you know, just stopped posting. Came back, but in 2022, I came back. Of course, I was posting Snapchat stories and everything, but 2020 back to social media. But I did something pretty different this time. I came back as a ministry with more sense and knowledge more than ever. And I'm grateful I took that break from social media because it really allowed me to form my mind, develop my mind, and everything. And I'm just happy I quitted social media and came back strong, you know. And yeah, so in this episode, I will be talking about social media and faith. How does it play a major role in our lives, and how we should be careful to use, how should we be cautious when we use it. So let's get into it. Okay, I wrote this down, so I'm pretty much reading from the paper, you know. But yeah, it says media plays such a major role in our lives, and as Christians, it can take over our lives if we are not careful. We often replace our quiet time with Jesus with social media. Like, for example, no matter how many reels, shorts, and TikToks we scroll through, we often forget about relationship with God. So that's one reason why I quit TikTok. I mean, I was with TikTok before Musically. Guys, if you're Gen Z and you're listening to this, you know before TikTok, we had Musically. Okay, so Gen Alpha, if you're listening to this, before TikTok, we had Musically. We used to lip sync to songs and stuff, and it was a pretty safe place for kids back in our day, you know. But dang, I feel so old when I said back in my day, you know. But yeah, yeah, I liked TikTok. But when I found but after I became a Christian, I keep strolling through TikTok, like TikTok, you know. And after I became a Christian, I just constantly stroll. I was like replacing screen time, you know. I was replacing screen time with God, and all the time I was scrolling through my TikTok feed. I should have been using that time to spend with God. That's how the devil gets to us, you know, with stuff and apps like that, you know. Now I scroll to YouTube Shorts and Reels now. I mean, there's some fun stuff in Reels, like for real. I mean, trust me, there are funny videos in Instagram Reels, like for real. Okay, so if you guys want some tips on how to manage social media, if you have it, personally, we all need some tips, including myself, because whatever. Okay, so basically, I would say these are two tips. Number one is follow accounts that promote good vibes, meaning follow accounts that will help you grow your faith in Jesus. Follow accounts that will help you grow your faith in Jesus if you're a Christian. And yeah, and I promise you, your life will change, and your feed will be so much full of Christian content. And yeah. And number two, if social media is affecting your mind and relationship with God, try fasting from it. Guys, let me tell you this. I'm not Catholic. Guys. I'm not Catholic. I'm Southern Baptist, okay? And by the way, by the time that I'm posting this, Lent is fastly approaching. I think Lent is next month this year. I think falls in March this year, and will be in April, I believe. But by the way, Lent is coming up, but guys, meaning it's a 40-day fast before Easter. Like, you heard the Bible story. Jesus spends like 40 days in the wilderness, and he went in the wilderness to get tempted by the devil. And Jesus was on his 40-day fast. The devil was trying to makes these stones, turns these stones to bread, yada yada yada. But instead, Jesus said, "It is written, Satan, it is written," and he refused to. And yeah, so there's a 40-day fast before Easter. In case you didn't know, after Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras, I mean, I don't give a crap about Mardi Gras, but after Fat Tuesday, it comes to start up for the 40-day fast. So if you are Christian and you feel like you have something to give up on, please keep Lent in mind. You don't have to be Catholic. Because like I said, I'm Southern Baptist, and of course I plan on fasting. To be honest, I don't really know yet. I don't know what I want to fast on. Can't say caffeine because I need to stay awake, but I really think I should fast on coffee. I don't know if I should fast on coffee. But until then, I encourage you to use those 40 days wisely to give up on a habit. Or you may want to use those 40 days to spend more time with Jesus if you have the time throughout the day, Yeah. You can use those 40 days for anything. And I promise you guys, you don't have to be Catholic. You can be Baptist, Southern Baptist, Pentecostal, or non-denominational, yada yada yada. Heck, it doesn't matter. In the Bible, it really calls us to fast. The Bible calls us to fast. God pretty much calls us to fast. And you want to know where you can fast from? If you don't know, heck, you can fast from food. It can be junk food. It could be a certain type of food, like fast food, or you only have fast food on a certain day, and the rest of the days you just eat green food, You can fast on caffeine, like coffee, energy drinks, etc. Social media, like this episode, like maybe quit social media for the entire 40 days, or you just spend time on social media 1 hour a day, or a certain amount of minutes a day. Cursing, like taming your tongue, etc. So if you struggle, like tame your tongue or cursing, this could work for you too. And last but not least, secular music. You can fast on secular music. You can fast on anything. Just ask God to reveal the sin that is pulling you away from Him, and ask Him to help you to overcome that. Ask Him to help you to fast from that. Like, if you smoke, you can do a 40-day no smoking fast, and you never know. After 40 days, you probably wouldn't want another cigarette. Or you can do a 40-day alcohol like fast, where you can't drink nothing alcoholic, period. And then after that, the 40 days, which is Easter, you probably be sober, and you probably would not want a drop of alcohol. So I'm just giving you guys some tips here, And I believe this is the end of this podcast. I'm so sorry for the short podcast, but I really need to talk about this. Okay, I'm gonna leave a poll in the show notes about the communion thing, and the link of my book will be in the show notes as well. And I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for listening to the Chosen Generation podcast. I love you guys so much. Haven't made the way. Oh, Lord. Lord. I'm into this podcast, and I haven't shared any scriptures with you guys. But I think I should go ahead and share it with you guys right now. I picked 3 scriptures. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep this as raw as possible. But we got to end our podcast with scripture, of course. And the main scripture for this podcast would have to be Romans 12:2. And it says, okay. Romans 12:2, it says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. The next verse is Philippians. Lord, I'm reading this from my Bible right now. Hold up, where Philippians? There you go. Okay, Philippians 4:8 says, and now, brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. And last but not least, 1 Corinthians 10:31. And it says, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. So keep those verses in mind when you're on your 40 day of fasting. Anyway, guys, I'm so sorry for that segment. I just don't like ending my podcast with no scripture at all. And I just want you guys to think about that, scripturally and biblically, So I'm so sorry about that. Please, anyway, go vote in the poll. Go buy my book, Blissfully Blessed. All those will be in the show notes. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for listening to a Chosen Generation podcast and for bearing with me on this episode of Controversial Topics. This is episode 3 of Controversial Topic series, and that's social media and faith. I love you guys so much. See you next Saturday for another podcast episode, and I love you guys so much. Peace out and bye for now.